Hello, everybody. On tonight's episode of Backseat Quarterbacks, I'm joined by Darren. We are recording this at 8:58 p.m., to be precise, on the West Coast. 9:58, 9:59. I just turned to 9:59 on the whatever time zone he's in Arizona. And way later on the East Coast, where Drake May is about to start resting his eyes when he gets to the hotel room before they take off back to Boston, as they made their biggest come-from-behind win since Tom Brady led the Patriots back against the Falcons when they were down 28-9 in the fourth quarter, 28-3 obviously overall. I'm on cloud nine. Darren won money on this as well, so he's on cloud nine. He was doom and gloom yesterday after his Packers lost in a very sad way to Caleb Williams, who probably made one of the best throws in this season and honestly football history with the walk-off touchdown. But we are not going to talk about that just yet. We're going to talk about all the games, including that. We're going to talk obviously first with the Sunday Night Football game that included my Patriots and the MVP, Drake May. And we're going to do that right now. So without further ado, here is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt. Don't look how many belts away that is from black. It's not that many, but it's hard to get a black belt, I just learned. He's close, though. He's close. He's going to fast track it. Darren! How are you doing, Mr. Blue?
Dude, I'm good, man. This is a fantastic Sunday of football. Wasn't quite a fantastic entire weekend. I saw you just enjoyed that beautiful chug, that celebratory chug, I'm assuming, for your big Patriots win, huh? What about, how about that? How about them Patsies?
A primetime game calls for steins, liters, how beer is meant to be enjoyed. And in fact, if I ran a bar, I've had an idea for a long time. I have a lot of ideas, business ideas. Tool company, I'm not going to get into all of them. One of my best ideas is a bar called For the Fellas that just has great glassware. It's steins, it's boots, it's for the fellas, for the guys.
I like that.
Now, women are, of course, allowed to come and partake, but they aren't going to really enjoy what's going on at this bar.
You have big old mugs, steins, boots, chalices.
There's chalices, of course. Yeah, it's all great glassware, and we're only serving beer. There's really not many IPAs either. There's a certain type of guy we're trying to get in there, and it's not going to be the ones that enjoy a
light beer bar. Let's be honest.
We don't want hazy enjoyers. We don't want IPA with those crazy ass names. Kokanee is great. Coors Light, Michelob, of course, Bud Light, and honestly, for the roughnecks, we're gonna have some Natty Ice.
I love it.
But how am I feeling about that Patriots win? I'm on cloud nine because I had a lot of money riding on them, and I'm going to start with the money aspect because of course I am. It's a gambling podcast. We pick against the spread on all these, but I had a lot of money riding on them, and I'm very happy that they came through. Of course, no, it isn't of course, but I had a live bet when they were down 11, which I don't suggest people do, but I just had a good inkling that they would actually make it a game. And I'm going to take Drake May over Tyler Huntley. A million times out of a million. I want to start by saying I hope Lamar's okay. I want him to be good and healthy. I want Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen to be healthy. I want them to be good and awesome because that's when the NFL is at its peak in modern society. It would suck if we never get to see them at their elite level again, because Lamar has not been great this year. Mahomes obviously has a torn ACL, and Josh Allen also has not been at his MVP level for most of the year. So I want Lamar to get back to being healthy, and he went out at the end of the first half. So I did a live bet basically because it was Tyler Huntley, and I just had confidence that Drake May would be able to at least get one touchdown and then force the pressure back onto Huntley, and he did. And they took care of business. They forced a fumble at the end there to capture the win. I feel great because it's a huge win on Sunday Night Football, where you're coming off of a loss against your division rival when you were up 21-0. You went behind in this game 2 scores, and it's hard for me to find the words for my excitement level because I probably don't even sound that excited, but I'm actually on cloud nine with how they responded and they won. And Drake May played his best game of his probably his career, even when he made some bad throws and some mistakes. That fumble was bad. The pick wasn't actually as bad as it looked. It took points off the board though, and there were some tacky officiating calls. Probably the worst non-called pass interference in the history of the sport. Sorry,
Yeah.
second. The worst one of all time is clearly the Saints-Rams one.
Yeah.
I mean, in the NFC Championship game. But and it meant way more than this game because this game is kind of irrelevant towards the actual end stage of the NFL season. But to me, and that don't get me started. We're not going to really talk much about that. We're going to talk about the refs as a whole in a segment in a little bit. But yeah, that call, I was walking around my apartment just saying, "You can't be serious. You can't be serious." Like multiple times, I was on like repeater mode. But it felt good because Drake May, again, 300-yard game, his first one of his career. I know that was like a common like little dig at him, which is fine. I think it's fair. He hasn't thrown for over 300 yards until today. He had 380 yards today, and he was balling out. A lot of injuries for the past today. Some of them were backup players. I know Travion Henderson got a concussion. It's awesome though because now you have two more games. They're going to be heavy favorites in those last two games, and you're going to probably end the season 14-3, and it's going to be a good year to be a Patriots fan, and you feel like you're on the up and up. Now, I don't know if they're if they're going to win the Super Bowl because again, probably not great that they went down 2 scores to Tyler Huntley in the fourth quarter. Just being real.
Not
And
ideal.
I'm going to take this in stride and be honest about where I think we are as a team. I say we. But it's hard not to be excited based off the financial gains and also the aspect of my quarterback just had what I think won him the MVP. Primetime Sunday Night Football, all eyes on the game. And he just balled out. He had almost 400 yards. He threw, honestly, one of the greatest throws, probably the second best throw of the weekend. Sorry, Darren. To Kyle Williams to get the game within 1 score. And yeah, it's awesome to see. Like he really was poised in the pocket. He got hit a lot tonight. He got hit a ton. It really felt like the guy over my left shoulder up there with Gronk and Edelman over there in Denver. That's of course Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. that I'm talking about. It felt very reminiscent of his games where it didn't feel like it was over, and that's hence why I did the live bet. And I'm happy I did. And I'm very on cloud nine about this. So I've spoken a lot about how happy I am with Drake May and with the Patriots. And when they get Milton Williams back, and when they get when they get, God willing, their left tackle back, that beautiful man from LSU who was chugging a beer at the Celtics game a few nights ago, and he's going to be back week 18. I'm so happy for that because that has been a killer. Their offensive line has so many injuries. When they start getting their players healthy again, because none of these are season-ending injuries, I think they have a chance to make a run. But I also think that they're probably a year early. You don't want to waste these opportunities, though, because you could see what happens with like a team like Washington, where look at this year for the Commanders
Yeah.
and how much of a dumpster fire that is. You want to try to make a run here, and that's my point. That's my point of reference. I just want the Patriots to not waste this. You're
You
probably
don't
going
get
to
many
be
windows. You don't get many windows and many opportunities to have these. They're just so poised for like a late deep playoff push. And again, I know that they're super young and they don't necessarily have like the experience and stuff like that, but they're good. They have a chance to lock up a number 1 seed and get a bye. Like that like that's still on the table.
Yeah, they can get the 1 seed. It would have to be probably due to the Broncos. The Broncos would have to lose another game, and that's
Correct.
very possible, by the way. The
Yeah.
Broncos, we're going to talk about that game too.
Yeah.
That's in the docket. But the Broncos, yeah, the 1 seed would be great. But right now they're at the 2 seed, which means they get 2 home playoff games.
Yeah.
Which that's what you want. You don't just want the one, you want the second, even if you
Yeah.
play harder opponents. Home field advantage. People say it's more of a myth nowadays in the playoffs. It's not. I care about home field, especially
Yeah.
when you have a team that can play there. So sorry about my long preamble about
No.
my team. Darren, how did you feel watching that game? What were your reactions?
Um, I was nervous. I was nervous for you in the first half. The interception early on and getting down. And then I saw Lamar went down and I was like, Tyler Huntley. I mean, I didn't think the Lamar thing was super serious. I thought he like had like a stinger or something, or
Same.
it was something weird because I think the play he got hurt on, he stayed in one more after that, and then he went out. So I thought it was like a weird freak thing. I thought he might have tweaked his hamstring or something too. I wasn't really sure what was going on with Lamar, and then we got Tyler Huntley the rest of the game, and the Patriots made it more interesting than they probably needed to make it. But I, the thing about Vrabel is this team is such a perfect embodiment of like the Vrabel mentality of like, hey, doesn't matter the situation, we're gonna go balls to the wall, effort, all out every play. And you saw it on the play that essentially sealed the game, the forced fumble. The guy rushing the passer peeled off and chased down Zay Flowers and punched the ball out. Like that's I think they mentioned that on the broadcast. Like that's stuff like championship caliber teams do. Like it's so little and it's so small, and it is so important because that sealed the game. That was the difference maker. And as soon as you saw that guy creep into your screen chasing after Zay Flowers, you're like, he's gonna punch the ball out. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and Chasen, by the way, is a former first round pick from LSU. And
Mm.
he was on I think he was on the Joe Burrow team. He's the best defensive player
Wow.
on that team. He's a beast. I think he went to the Jaguars. I'm not positive, but he didn't really get used there well. But he's an absolute
Mhm.
beast. Like he is,
Mhm.
he his just build and athleticism is obvious. And when a defensive end is able to chase down a wide receiver in any capacity,
Yeah.
and that play is yeah, it's a motor. It's just a motor. It's a pure motor play.
I
So
was I
yeah,
was gonna say half of that play is just like a guy's motor and his how bad do you want it? How hungry are you to win the game? And again, he might do that every single time, and 90 times out of the 100 times he does that, or 99 times he doesn't end up catching the guy, or the guy gets tackled before him, but he's peeling off and he's running to the ball. I'm sure most people who are listening to this podcast who've played football really at any level, including like youth Pee Wee football. If
oh,
you've
thank you.
even been to those games, you hear the coaches just screaming, run to the ball, run to the ball, run to the ball. And it is such like a simple thing, but there's teams that do it and there's teams that don't. You see the teams that don't gang tackle and aren't there to have multiple bodies there because people miss tackles. It happens, and they're bad teams. Like they just are. They're bad teams. They miss
Hmm.
tackles. They don't have gang tackling. They're not running the ball. There's no effort, and they don't turn the ball over. They don't get takeaways. Those are bad defenses and bad teams typically. And this Patriots team is not that. This team has a little juice to them. They're kind of exciting. They got a little swag to them. Stephon Diggs, he's feeling himself right now. He's feeling this team, and you can tell the vibes are very high.
I I love this team in a serious way because I think that you clearly have a structure of players that love the coach.
Mm-hmm.
You have, I mean, Vrabel is like legitimately amazing. It's unreal how much he's changed the culture there from post Belichick, post
Mm-hmm.
Mayo, and he's great. I cannot. I'm not even gonna. I can't speak on how just purely awesome he is as a head coach,
Yeah.
and the fact that Tennessee fired him, and it makes no sense to me. He's a plus like 3 or 4 win coach just solely
Yeah.
because of him being in the building on any team in the league outside of like the best of the best teams. So you put him on the Jets. If the Jets would have got him, Jets are going to win 5 to 8 games just because he's in the building. He makes players play for him because players buy in. He goes to the tunnel after they win games or lose games, and he just, high fives every player.
Mhm.
All his post game speeches, it's clear that he gives them, it's all bullshit. Like, they all have the videos in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can tell that he knows it, and then he talks to them actually, and everybody buys into it. Stephon Diggs, like you just said, he clearly is like a veteran mentor to everybody
Mhm.
else in that receiving room. Like, he gives pregame speeches, and I said this to you during the game. He's like a diva receiver that actually cares. He doesn't care about his own stats. Today was a great game for him. It was every third down and fourth
Yeah.
down. He got open. It felt very Puka Nacua-ish with how
Mhm.
he was basically he wasn't always the first read, but he was always open on the big plays. It was
Yeah.
awesome to see. And he inspires the team around him because it's more than just like an individual performance. He actually cares about this shit. Which is funny because
Mhm.
he's doing all this stuff off the field. He's with Cardi B. He he has that video on the boat. He has this history of all this, but it's clear that he actually cares about winning football games so
Yeah.
much more than a lot of the other receivers that are considered divas do. He earlier in the season, or right before the season started, he like apologized to the media saying like, "Hey, I'm sorry as an asshole. I
Yeah.
just care about football." And it's like, that's something that most receivers wouldn't do. I love him. I love him so
Mhm.
much. I cannot I said this to you on the phone too. Milton Williams seems like actually the best player on the Eagles defense last season, and the fact that they don't have him right now is insane. He's not playing for the Patriots right now because he's hurt. He's the best run stopper in football, I feel like. I don't know if there's even a close second. With the Patriots run defense, they didn't give up a 100-yard rusher for the first 9 weeks or something of the season. He gets hurt. Now people could run all over him.
Yeah.
I think people run all over the Eagles this year. Feels like it. Don't
Yeah.
know what the metrics lay out or what they bear. But yeah, I like this team a lot, and you're right. Windows aren't always existent. I uh I don't know if they're gonna make the Super Bowl or make a deep run in the playoffs because it's, one game sample size. We really have parity here, and it'd be tough to say they're the best team and playing the best football. But winning a game like this actually helps, and you have two easier ones going into the playoffs with the Dolphins and the Jets, in whatever order. I can't remember who they play next week, but it's gonna be good. So we got 20 minutes on the Pats. I like it. 18 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
This is the start to the podcast. I'll end it with this. I just watched Dave Chappelle's stand-up special last night when I got back from the bars. Very funny, very funny. His closer, right? Anybody know what a closer is? It's basically your final joke. It's supposed to be the best joke of the night. His closer was that there's a different MVP other than Drake May out there in the NFL. That's what he ended it with. Because Drake May is the MVP. He's going to win the MVP. And if you want to make some free money, you get plus money right now. You get plus odds on Drake May being the MVP. Because they're going to finish the season with 3 losses. They're going to be the 1 or 2 seed. And his only person that's facing off against him is Matt Stafford. Stafford is going to be the 5 seed probably. I'm going to tell you this right now. He's not winning MVP at the 5 seed. It would kill precedent. Voters, they're the same voters from last year, the year before that, and for the
Mhm.
last 50 years. They don't change voters. It's the Hall of Fame in baseball and all these sports too. They don't change voters. You can easily see the history of this. Last year kind of broke it because they didn't give it to Lamar. He deserved it. They didn't give it to him because of narrative, pure narrative. Is the narrative better for Stafford or for Drake May? I don't know. I'm going to say it's better for the younger guy because they never reward the old guy. Philip Rivers never has an MVP vote. Russell Wilson has never had an MVP vote. Drew Brees has one MVP. He had good seasons in his later career. Tom Brady was 44 years old and had a better year than Stafford has now. And he had a better year statistically than your guy did, Aaron Rodgers, when he was on the
Hey,
Packers.
hey, hey.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm gonna just say honestly, he just had a worse record. The Packers went 13-3 that year, and
Yeah.
the Buccaneers I think went 11-5. And they rewarded the guy with the worst stats, but the better record.
I mean, we talked about this in our group chat. It's about the narrative. I think it's not about yes, part of it is about record and stats, obviously, but a lot of it is like, what's the narrative around this team? How does it sell in the media? How would a Matt Stafford MVP sell in the media when, again, going to the season, it was doubtful that he would even play. It was doubtful, that the Rams team would even be good. And I mean, you could say the same thing for the Pats. Don't get me wrong. You could say the exact same thing for the Pats. I'm just saying it seems like Matt Stafford gets a lot of love from the media. It seems like he's pretty well liked, and the Patriots are. I just don't think the Patriots are the most loved organization as a whole.
They're not. They're not. But the Patriots over under was 8.5. The Rams was 9.5. They're both going to hit those easily. Well,
Yeah,
they both have.
I
But
was
I'm
to say.
saying, in general, do you think the NFL writers who cover the sport want to reward a guy that is going to be out of the league in a year or two? Or do
I
they
mean,
want to
it's
reward
almost like riding off into the sunset. If you win an MVP and the Rams make a playoff push, it's like there it
Stafford?
is.
But do they want? Again, I'm not trying to get conspiracy theorists on this. We're going to do that with the refs. But do they want to reward a guy that's going to retire, not play in this league anymore? Or do they want to reward a guy that's going to be the new face of the league?
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
fair.
thing. You have to think like that. That's how it's going to be. They would love if Jaden Daniels would have had a good year this year. They want that because that gives you a new person to push for like jersey sales, ticket sales. Matthew Stafford's going to retire in a year or two. He's not retiring after this year. If he does, he's an idiot. Like he's been too good.
Yeah,
He doesn't have anything to do.
yeah, that's
Uh,
fair. That's valid.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Drake Mason will win it now. That was too good of a performance. I was worried after the first half. I was like, they're gonna have to give the MVP to
Ruh-roh.
Myles Garrett or something. By the way, we're not going to talk about the Bills Browns game. We're just going to mention this right now. Myles Garrett got a half sack for a near safety on Josh Allen. Did you see that play?
I did
They
not.
rewarded Myles Garrett with, okay, so you didn't see the play. They rewarded Myles Garrett with a half sack when he didn't even touch Josh Allen.
Are
Official
they gonna
stats.
revise that?
No, they revised it in the game. They didn't give him a sack or a half sack, and then in the game they said, yeah, they gave him credit for a half sack. It was Mason Graham's sack. So now he needs one sack to break the record in the next 2 weeks. I don't think they can go back and change that. Maybe they can for fantasy purposes on
Yeah,
defensive
I
player
mean, yeah, I
edition.
just think he wasn't touched by.
Yeah. That's all we're going to talk about the Bills and Browns. I would also implore people to look up Josh Allen's stats in that game, who was coming on hot for MVP. That ends our MVP discussion for this week. Moving on for the I guess we could talk. We should just do your team.
Lion. Most.
Should we do your team or we should do Lions? What do you want to do?
Either or. Either or.
We'll do your team. We'll do or
Okay.
we'll do Lions first, and then we'll go backtrack to Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, the Lions Steelers game. I'll let you take it away, champ.
Lions Steelers. Whew, what a doozy this one was. Retro Aaron Rodgers back in Detroit, wreaking havoc like he has for the past almost 2 decades in the Music City. What a game. What a game. A lot of controversy on that last play of the game. I know there honestly on that last drive, the pass interference that some people felt wasn't really pass interference, and then there's the offensive pass interference that wasn't necessarily called like that the entire game. Definitely some inconsistent
that.
officiating for there's no denying that. I think that pick at the end of the game there on the play that was a touchdown that ended up actually getting called back. I think it was like 3 plays before the end of the game that they scored on. I think that was a very obvious pick. I think I was fine with that call. And then the last play of the game where it seemed like nobody knew what they were doing when the officials clearly had no idea how to handle that situation. I don't think that there was a whistle for forward progress being blown dead, even though that very obviously his forward progress was dead. He was backwards. I think he moved backwards 5 yards, almost 6 yards, and they still didn't blow it dead. It's whatever. I mean, it's it's crazy that they didn't call it. Then there was the lateral. Half the people stopped. Goff picked it up and went and scored a touchdown. Then the officials got together. They confirmed for what, 5 minutes, almost 10 minutes. It felt like an eternity watching
Yeah,
that game.
it was a good, very good call by them.
Yeah, and they determined that it was an offensive pass interference, that since the game clock had hit 0, there was not going to be any replaying of the down, and the touchdown did not count. Very weird end of the game. Again, I'm not sure how offensive penalties and no time remaining on the clock like works in the NFL. I know when it's a defensive penalty, it's one untimed down. I guess offense, you just lose the ability to run another play, which is,
Yeah,
big. That's what the
that's
rules
fine.
are. That's what they are. I obviously had a huge rooting interest in this game as a Packers fan, considering we'll get to the Packers Bears game later, but the Packers obviously had lost, and I needed dearly for the Lions to lose. Like, I needed them to lose quite badly for the Packers playoff chances, and Aaron Rodgers comes through one last time for Green Bay.
Well, the Packers play the Ravens this next week, and
Mhm.
we didn't even talk about this. The back injury for Lamar does not seem like he's going to play. I'm going to just say that. Like, it seems like that doesn't seem like it's like a game injury. That seems like
Well, here's the
that
thing,
seems like
their
a week
season's
or
over. I think they have like a 3% chance to make the playoffs
yeah,
now.
yeah. So
So
I understand in the moment though. I get what you're saying. I just
yeah.
want to say like this is more of a we can do the game and then the ref talk, but like I'm just looking at it's just a ref talk. That's what you just did was a ref talk basically. It started with like Aaron Rodgers had a vintage Rodgers game. Vintage Rodgers is not 27 for 41 for 266 and 1 touchdown. That's Jets Rodgers last season. That's not vintage Rodgers.
I mean, I think Rodgers, he made some incredible throws, and
He looked
like
good. He looked good.
I think he made a lot of really, really good decisions. He he dirted a lot of balls as well. He threw a lot of balls away. So like his completion percentage and stuff is a little low, but he made the right decision, I felt like, on every single play, which
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to disrespect Aaron Rodgers. He actually
yeah.
probably had his best game as a Steeler. He had a better game earlier this season, but this was one of his better games as a Steeler since leaving the Packers, and he did it against a team that needed the game. Um, it just sucks because this whole week, the week 16 of the NFL season in 2025 is going to be talked about if anybody remembers this in 150 years from now when we have hieroglyphics on the wall on the caves. It's going to just have zebra prints because it's going to be all about it starts on Thursday night when the Seahawks have that 2-point conversion that takes a million years to talk about. Nobody even knows. They're lined up to kick the ball off. And then the refs are like, well, we're conferring. They confer forever about a backwards pass. And Sam Darnold did not mean to throw backwards. And the play is done. And Zach Charbonnet is the only person that's like, I'm going to just pick this ball up. Not even acting like he's running to pick the ball up. He just picks the ball up in the end zone. And they're like, well, we didn't
Yeah.
whistle it dead. It leads into games on Saturday where there's a lot of shoddy officiating for every team that's involved.
Mhm.
It leads into Sunday where there's this game where there's just that last drive was just awful. And it leads into Sunday Night Football where that fourth quarter was officiated. The end of the half was officiated terribly with Mark Andrews throwing a backwards pass. And they're like, yeah, that's obviously forward, is what Terry McAuliffe said on to obviously forward. Obviously forward. I want you to spin around, Darren, and throw an obviously forward pass, and I want to see how your arm moves. It doesn't move the way his arm moved. You can't obviously throw a forward pass when you're doing a 360.
Yeah.
You throw it over your shoulder like that if you're going to obviously throw a forward pass. That was clear to me. That was obviously backwards, and then they ruin it with a roughing the passer, and it ends with the PI that was not called, and that is one of the worst non-calls in the history of the sport. And I say this like I don't want to be a ref hater or like a conspiracy theorist on what the refs do. It all started this week with Puka, and Puka actually tweeted out after the game saying like, "Yep, the zebras are trying to get on TV, or the stripes are trying to get on TV." vindicated, something like that. He deleted that
Yeah.
immediately. Of course, people saw that. They asked McVay. McVay was very pissed off at Puka doing that. Very pissed off is relevant as is kind of irrelevant because Puka had 7,000 yards and lost me my fantasy playoffs. So it is what it is. He lost a
Yeah,
lot
he
of
was,
people
he
in his
was
and won a lot
unguardable
of
on
people.
Thursday.
Yeah, he's the best receiver. How the Seahawks defended him is insane, but like neither here nor there. I'm not gonna bygones are bygones. He was great, so McVay is gonna let that slide because it was Puka. But Puka was right. This whole week was insane with the refs and the game you're talking about. Yeah, that some of those calls were bad. If we're just talking pure football, I'm happy. I'm happy Rodgers played well. Jalen Warren was insane on the ground. And this is a team, and the big picture here, though, is it's more so that, God, I'm just looking at stats right now, and I'm just remembering plays. Even the Gainwell touchdown catch, when they said it was defensive pass interference, and they didn't call offensive pass interference, it should have been pass interference for both sides. It was a great touchdown. It's number one, it's guaranteed number one on SportsCenter, all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
a joke. Should have been pass interference for both sides. Both people were pushing off, but whatever. My point being is, it just, to me, this is more of a bad thing for the Lions because Dan Campbell, when they lost in the NFC Championship game, he had a statement and he's like, "I told a lot of these guys, we're probably not going to ever get back here. This might be our only chance." It's very real,
Yeah.
and
It,
I
it, it
respect that because
it's a
this
real answer. It's a real comment. Like these
yeah,
windows are just not open forever.
everybody listening to this podcast, I hope, understands that because you're not a fan of the Patriots or the Chiefs. I don't think everybody that listens to this is a fan of those teams.
That's the caveat to this, is that people like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have skewed what people think is actually capable for their team. Like
Yeah.
people have a very, very bad misconception of, hey, the Patriots went to, the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl or whatever for, like 15 straight years. Not I don't know what the number is for their longest streak, but they were good for like 20. They were
It was
good for
8
like
straight
20
years.
years.
But yeah, they
Yeah.
made like 15 or 17 champions.
Yeah.
It's
And
insane.
it's like, it's something stupid where it's like, okay, like that's not being done again. That's never happened before. I guess
Yeah.
maybe back when like before they were actually considered Super Bowls and there was like 3 teams in the NFL and they were world championships. And then the Chiefs have now done where they people have a misconception of what is like what's considered the norm for your team. Your team is not the Chiefs. Your team is not the Patriots. And they're not going to be. I'm sorry, they're just not.
Yeah, since the turn of the millennium, the century, since 2000,
Mhm.
the third best team outside of the Patriots and Chiefs is either the Ravens, who have 2 Super Bowls, or the Giants, who have 2 Super Bowls, or the Eagles, who have 2 Super Bowls and have been to. It's probably the Eagles,
Yeah.
who have been to like 4 or 5 Super Bowls, and they have 2
And
Super Bowl
and
wins.
they won 2 of them.
Yeah, it's probably the Eagles are the third, and so they have 2 Super Bowl wins and 5 appearances. Their 2 wins are obviously one against Tom Brady, one against Mahomes. That's incredible, and they won them with Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts, who are probably 2 of the bottom of the barrel type quarterbacks that won Super Bowls. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's a huge drop off, and yeah, so it's like I think it's good that Dan Campbell was honest because it's not coach speak when he's being honest there. That's a real
Mhm.
thing. And a lot of coaches are like, it's not taking it for granted. I don't think it's taking it for granted at all. But I do think when you realize how many Super Bowls has Aaron Rodgers been in, Darren?
Yeah,
You know that.
one. He's
How many has Drew
one.
Brees been in?
One.
It's one. How many
Yeah.
has Peyton Manning? I think it's 3 or
4.
4. Yeah, 4. And it's like you get into this like level, it's like, wow, it's actually really hard. There's some random
Yeah.
people that make Super Bowls and it's like, uh-oh.
You're telling me, dude, the Packers, if you're looking again, this is gonna, like the biggest loser thing I think I've ever said in my life. If you look at regular season only, look at the Packers over the past. Dude, I can't believe I just said that. Dude, the look at the regular season wins from again, turn of the millennium, 2000 to now. The Packers have to have one
Yeah, they had to be top 5 easy.
they got to be top 5, and we've been to one Super Bowl, one
Damn, since
singular.
2000. I'm assuming best record since 2000, and we can look this up. We're not going to do this right now. Patriots are easy number 1, I think. Then it probably is going to be in the ballpark of Chiefs, Packers because they have Brett Favre early too. Packers are probably up in the top 3 actually. Colts, Packers, Chiefs, Broncos are somewhere in there, and then there's going to be a wild card.
You want the top?
Yeah, give it to me.
All right,
Patriots first.
we're gonna go Patriots at. Wow, the Patriots don't have a single tie. That's actually insane.
Yeah, of course.
They're 313 and 148 over that time. Number 2.
What's that win percentage?
68% pretty much.
Jesus, that's actually insane.
Next is the Steelers at 279. Yeah, 279, 166, and 3, and they drop all the way down to a 62% winning percentage. And then it's the Packers at 175 or 275, 173, and 3 with a 61%. And then it's the Eagles and the Ravens rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, I didn't mention the Steelers. The Steelers have 3 Super Bowls, so the Steelers would actually be the third most franchise after it's the Eagles and Steelers would be close. Would you rather have 5 appearances and 2 wins, or the Steelers, which I think have?
But again, going back to my loser ass franchise and my loser talk, I'm top 3 in the wins there, and I have I've been to one Super Bowl. That how horrible.
Not even a chance in a second.
People get and people don't understand how I can be so upset and so emotionally volatile when Micah Parsons tears his ACL and Tucker Kraft tears his ACL, when I'm like, we pushed all the chips in. It's not easy to get to the Super Bowl, and this was a year where I truly felt the Packers. I'm getting off on a little tangent here.
No, you're good. We're going to talk about. We'll talk about the Packers right now. I'm going to go pee. Keep talking. Keep going.
I'll keep going. I can go on and on about this.
Keep going on and on. I'm going to pee a long pee.
All right. There's just not many times in an NFL team's, life, essentially, that the team has the ability to go all in, that they have all the pieces lined up and everything that you think you need to win a Super Bowl. Because the Packers clearly pushed all the chips on the table and said, hey, we have maybe at very most, they basically said, we have a 3-year window. We're paying Jordan Love. We're paying Christian Watson. We're paying Micah Parsons. Tucker Kraft's contract's going to come up. Jaden Reed's contract. All these guys, we're going to have to start paying these people. And the Packers said, we're going all in this next, 2 to 3 year window. And first year's already kind of a bust. I don't think the Packers are a Super Bowl team anymore. It would be a miraculous, feat if the Packers were able to make a Super Bowl with the roster and where they're at with everything. It's just, I've been a diehard fan of this team for so long, and for them to only have made one Super Bowl, I see how hard it is to get to that point. And like my girlfriend, she's like, why do you get so upset? Why do you care so much about it? And I'm like, because this stuff is not easy. This stuff just doesn't happen. You look at the Commanders, you look at the Lions. These are teams that are not going to make the playoffs this year. And they were in the, the Lions in the divisional round and the Commanders in the NFC Championship. They were fantastic teams last year. These just don't stay open forever. Half the teams that make the playoffs every year don't make them again the following year.
It's the beauty of football. It's also the shittiness of football. Again, I'm the most spoiled of anybody, and I still care so much. I'm back, by the way, for my
Bengals. The Bengals, They made a Super Bowl. They've been back to the playoffs once since then.
I mean, I've given this story on this podcast before multiple times. It was the year before, 2 years before the podcast became a thing. I'll never forget the reaction I had to when the Patriots lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady had the best Super Bowl a quarterback can have. He had 500 yards in that game. He
Mhm.
played a flawless Super Bowl, except he got strip sacked
Yeah.
at the very end. If you go back and watch that game, there's a lot
Mhm.
of people that say we used to watch gods play quarterback because they show like some stats and they show like
Mhm.
the history of the quarterback position. We did. There's still amazing people playing quarterback, but it's like you go back and you watch that game. Just go watch the highlights of that
Mhm.
game. Go watch a quick recap. It's like a 20-minute recap of what Tom Brady was doing in that game. Nick Foles was also incredible. I want to just say that like he was
Yeah.
unreal. He played as good as a human can play, but Brady's a god. And they lost. And I'll never forget. I went again. I was drinking Grey Goose. Uh, and it was my ex girlfriend at the time. She got this bottle of Grey Goose of uh uh what is it, half gal, and I just filled a full liter. Not actually a full liter. It was a glass, a 6 ounce glass. I just filled it with Grey Goose, and I topped it off with some orange juice, and I just went in and laid in my walk-in closet. I just laid down in there, and I just went retrospective, and then my roommates at the time, they came in, they're like, "Hey, it's all good." People kept saying, you know, there's always next year. And I said, "Tom Brady's 42 years old." I was like, "There isn't always next year. It's gonna
Yeah.
end, and when it ends, I don't know when they'll be back. I have to cherish these moments."
Yeah.
I kept referring to The Office, that Andy Bernard quote. You don't know when you're in the good times until they're over.
Mhm.
And you need to understand when you're in the good times. I'm in the good times. And again, we have two of the best young quarterbacks in football, you and I, on our
Mhm.
franchises, which is great. But they are not Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's one of one. And Jordan Love's not Aaron Rodgers. He's great, but he's not
No.
prime Aaron Rodgers. So the windows, you're right, they're not the same. I
Yeah.
want Drake May to win Super Bowls, plural. I think would be awesome. I would be over the moon if we win one. If he wins two, you're an auto Hall of Fame bid.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The expectations now are over the moon because he's going to probably win the MVP. And then you're like, well, you got to be Brady. And obviously, he's not going to be Brady. There's not going to be a second Brady. But you got to be. It's basically the Joe DiMaggio. It's basically the Babe Ruth to Joe DiMaggio to Mickey Mantle type lineage in
Mhm.
baseball in the Yankees, where that's never happening in football because you can't have that happen in football. But in your team, you had Favre to Rodgers to Love. You have two Super Bowls to speak for
Yeah.
in that history, which Brett Favre has a lot of the negativity coming around him, and rightfully so. He's a terrible person, and he should be probably in jail for some things. But as a quarterback, phenomenal. He was the last real gunslinger, Jameis Winston, but he was the last real gunslinger that gets the respect of being a gunslinger, and he was
Mhm.
great in big moments. He has one Super Bowl win,
That
and
just goes to show you
that one's
how
against Tom
hard
Brady.
it is. It's not easy to win a Super Bowl. You can have one of the you can be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and you can have everything. There's no guarantee that you're gonna win one. There's no guarantee you'll even ever get to go to one. There's so many other things that all have to align. Again, preseason, the stars were aligned for the Packers. And you know what? Tucker Kraft tore his ACL. Micah Parsons tore his ACL. They've been
Yeah,
riddled by injuries all season. And it's like you can't account for that. And that's what makes it so devastating. And I'm not saying that we're going to win the Super Bowl regardless of that, but it's just part of the stuff that plays into like winning a Super Bowl is like so much more than like, well, I have Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Jordan Love or Drake May. It's like there's so much more that goes into that.
I was just laughing because I just thought to myself, it's like predetermined. Like I was just thinking, like the NFL, it's a lot like war. A lot of people thought the Axis powers were going to win World War II. Things
Yeah.
change. Things
Yeah,
change. Stuff
exactly.
happened. And it's kind of like I'm not calling the Packers the Nazis. But no, we'll talk about that game now. We could just do that game right now because
Let's
we'll
get
move
it
through
over
it.
with.
It was a good game. I'll be honest. It's a great game, actually. Unfortunately, Jordan Love got a concussion early on in a very what I think I think most people would consider a dirty hit. I don't know why there wasn't more of a fuss. I didn't see any fuss. Was there
There's a
fuss?
lot of people defending the hit, saying, "Oh, Jordan Love ducked his head," and it's like, yeah, dude, there's a 300 and some odd pound defensive end bearing down on him. He's trying to brace himself and just got blasted in the head.
Yeah, I can see that take. I can understand that. I also think it's
Yeah.
kind of nonsense. Whatever. The whole thing is, it was Malik Willis playing. Like honestly, he's in a Tyler Huntley role. I think like he's earned himself like a 15-year NFL career,
Yeah.
and good for him. One of the
Yeah.
best jobs in life is being the backup quarterback who actually is good enough to win games. And Malik Willis can win a game, and he actually probably should have won this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to talk too much about the Packers here. It sucks that Jordan Love got hurt, and hopefully, like he's able to play next week. I know they play Saturday, so we'll see what the turnaround is. It didn't seem like the worst concussion, and we treat in the NFL and society quarterback concussions a lot different than any other position.
Yeah.
Quarterback concussions could be 2-week injury. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they get concussed and they play the game because they're not taking hits to the head commonly. So
Yeah.
we'll see what his status is for this next game. But they're basically they're in the playoffs now, so you can probably rest him next game. It is what it is. I think
Yeah, I
the
mean,
real
next week
story
it might be
here,
Malik Willis versus Tyler Huntley, honestly.
yeah,
So
that's one where you take your girl to the pumpkin patch. You know that's a pumpkin patch game or Christmas tree farm. Is this
yeah.
after Christmas?
Yes, it is after Christmas.
Well, whatever. There's something to do on this day, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go see Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Uh, Caleb Williams in this game was, especially in that fourth quarter, was a lead. And I know, I know we make jokes about him.
No,
And
they're
there was
not
a time
jokes.
there at the beginning of the season and last season especially where it seemed like he was not going to be. It seemed like he might not actually be the guy. And I don't think he's ever going to be what his prospect was. Because I think that takes being able to do pre-snap reads in a way that he isn't capable to do as of yet. And who knows if that ever happens because of how the NFL is now. Before we started this podcast, we were talking about the best pre-snap read guys. Every single one of the guys we talked about was above the age of 35.
I think they're all
Uh,
over 40 now, aren't
yeah,
they?
they probably are all over 40. I just didn't know. I don't know how old Stafford is.
No, I think he's
Um,
in his 30s still.
Yeah, he might still be in his 30s. So I know he's over 35. I think he's over, he might be 40. Who knows? My point is, it's like Caleb was great today or yesterday, last night. And that game winning touchdown, that's one of the throws of the season. That was a beautiful throw. I saw the all 22. I didn't send it to you because I didn't want to
Yeah.
dagger you in the hard, but it was an insane throw. It was like a legit, like, put the dick on the counter type throw.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my cock. Just lay it out. Like, it was a
Yeah.
great throw. And again, you know that you're playing against Malik Willis and you're the backup, so you could take more of those risks. But he was good in that game, and I do think I was giving a little too much hate to Caleb Williams. He has the cojones to be a good quarterback. He still misses on some of his throws, but that's more of the story here. The other big story in that game is um, Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady have became by far, I don't think it's even close. They're by far the best crew now. I think a lot of people wanted to get Tom Brady out of there and replace him with Greg Olson after the first year. I'm not even trying to do this as a guy that likes Brady. Brady was amazing in that game, calling it. Actually incredible. Even in that last second, and even in that last play, Burkhardt was unbelievable. You just hear Brady, who has his mic muted, because he's reacting where he's letting Burkhardt make the call. he's reacting to it, and he's just like, oh! Like he's like, yeah, like because he's like, it's an incredible throw, and Brady is like coming to the fact that it's like he's a quarterback fan. That's incredible content. And you watch tonight's people where it's like Chris Collinsworth was terrible tonight on the Patriots and Ravens game, where it's like, I hope Derrick Henry pumped up the team and feels bad about fumbling in the first half. I hope he got over it and told everybody I'm over the fumble. Yeah, he's probably over the fumble. I think he probably got over it within a couple of plays. Okay. I think
Yeah.
that fumble was not even really his fault. He got his arm tugged and then somebody punched the ball out. And then he was saying all this. The way he talks sometimes about quarterbacks is very erotic and it's funny and it's awesome. But geez Louise, is he doing it on purpose?
He's kind of a horn dog almost.
And then Tony Romo and Jim Nantz. Romo today was saying this is the reason Herbert's in the MVP conversation against the Cowboys. That's the game they were calling, right?
No, what was the game? I thought he was doing Bo Nix and
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, they were doing Bo Nix and Trevor Lawrence, right? No,
yeah.
what game did they call? They called a game where the guy that's actually he said somebody's in the MVP conversation and he's plus 2,000. He's below JSN and stuff. It might have been Bo Nix. You're right. I don't know,
Yeah.
but the point being is like,
Oh, they
Romo
called
was.
the Steelers and the Lions game today.
Oh yeah. Sorry, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
He said Jared Goff. The reason Jared
That's
Goff's in the
right.
MVP conversation, and so Jared Goff is not anywhere near the MVP conversation.
No.
And it's like, are
He
you prepping?
did not
So
call
Brady's
that
quickly
game.
elevated himself. I actually love Buck and Aikman, and I think now it's Buck, Aikman, Brady, and Burkhardt.
What about Al Michaels? Does he do anything for you?
It's Allen and Herb Street.
Uh,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That Thursday night game call, how they were calling that, is maybe the worst I've ever heard. They were showing I was watching that obviously, and the way they talked about it was unreal. Herb Street went from that to flying to Oklahoma for the Alabama-Oklahoma game the next night, less than 24 hours later.
yeah.
Why is ESPN and Amazon paying this guy millions of dollars each to
Herb
obviously
Street, I
not be able
think
to?
it's fine. I don't think Herb Street's horrible. Al Michaels just has no juice, dude. He has no juice. That was the game of the year, and there was no excitement. He was calling it
Yeah,
like
Al Michaels is too old to do this.
he talked about it like it was a Jets and Titans game. Like that's legit
Al
how he was
Michaels is
talking
like
about it.
in his 80s. This is the guy that called the Miracle on Ice.
I know.
That was when the USSR still existed.
When with the Rashid Shaheed punt return, that was the least excited I've ever heard an announcer for a play. He said, "Oh, there he makes a man miss. He gets the sideline. Rashid Shaheed is gonna score." Like, what are we doing, dude? What was that? That was horrible.
Is a back haul. I don't know. I'm gonna say this though. I love the excitement Brady has when he watches good quarterbacks, because I'm okay with his disgust on bad quarterbacks. So when he calls a good game and there's good plays, he's the best. I think he's the best now.
I mean,
I
I've
will
gotten
also say
a
this.
lot of
Tom
Brady.
Brady posted yesterday. We didn't talk about this. This is going to be something that it's. I can't believe this isn't as viral as it should be. When it got announced, Tom Brady is one of my Mount Rushmore humans in my life. He actually is probably it's very hard to say where he would rank in terms of people that mean the most to me. Most people, like, if they're religious, say Jesus Christ or whoever their deity is in their religion. I'm not religious. I'm like agnostic basically. I don't go to church or anything like that. But Tom Brady basically is my deity. He posted when his ex-wife Giselle got engaged. He posted a landslide by the Dixie Chicks with a beautiful picture of the sunset. It got announced yesterday that she got married. I think it was marriage, something like that. It was either marriage or something of that resort or that type.
Yeah.
And he posted 2 pictures of himself before he called that game with Logic. The "I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive." This is Tom Brady doing this.
Yeah. It was
Huh?
great. It was
It's
great.
honestly awesome.
Uh,
Is he doing it, or he has obviously somebody running his social media? But it's like, are they doing it for fun, or is he like directing them to do this?
I don't know. It was very funny. I mean, Tom Brady does have a pretty good sense of humor, I will say.
Yeah, if I would do the same thing if I was.
Yeah.
It is
Uh,
actually elite. I like that, but no, I haven't seen people talking about that. I saw the stories. I was like, and then I saw the TMZ post of like Giselle and the guy, and I was like, whoa. It's like that's awesome. I need that from. I need that. I need more of the fellas to do that.
oh, well,
Anyways, yeah, Packers 16, Bears 22.
tough
Sorry,
loss.
Darren. That lost me money too, by the way, as you know.
It was a tough loss.
Also, I was looking at my tickets in there. I had a $200 bet with the Lions at a tease, and you know what that means. I did not know I had that bet until I saw that. So I realized I lost $200 on the Lions. That's nice. That always feels good when you don't realize you lose
Yeah.
money. Then you go in there like, fun fact. While we go on to other games when we're about to enter an hour here, there's not too many other games we're going to talk about. We will talk about the rest of them briefly, but I played some blackjack this week, so it was fun with our compadre, our amigo, our
Gregory.
brethren, Italian Greg, and I was trying to actually FaceTime Darren in there to get a seat, and the casino wouldn't allow us, but I wanted to have him play hands with us, and
I would showed my ID and everything.
he would have showed everything to him. It was a fun time though playing blackjack there. I haven't played blackjack in like a year and a half, but we played blackjack like it was the Roaring 20s. It felt like the Roaring 20s. 1923 is the year. And yeah, we were gambling. Greg, of course, if he listens to this, he might get offended if I say some of these stories. He doesn't know how to play blackjack. He doesn't know the rules. He doubled down when he had like 18 at one point. I said, Greg, you need to get an ace 2, 3, or 4. Or a 4 would bust you. You need an ace 2 or 3. Gets a 10. The dealer
Gregory.
finds new way to add up to 21. It was insane. Yeah. So, Greg, I don't know if I want to play blackjack with you ever again. Jaguars Broncos.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence is the first thing we need to talk about. We have talked a lot of shit about him. He's 26 years old, which I just learned just now because I clicked on his name. Very young. 26.
Yeah.
He's 3.5 years younger than I am. That pisses me off. I'm growing my hair out like Trevor Lawrence, by the way. You see?
Well, dude,
Here's
he's
a
kind of
stat.
been on one. He's been on one, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to his game logs right now. Do you want to know
He's
his numbers the last 2 games?
very good. And
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know what
unreal. They're unreal. He has almost 700 yards in the last 2 games, 335 and 346. So close to 700 yards, like 690, 680 yards. He has, touchdown wise, it's got to be 8 touchdowns, I think. 0 picks.
Yeah. Dude, he's been unreal. He's been lights up. He made this Broncos defense like actually not look good. It was pretty insane. Riley Moss is the only weak point on this defense, and he just gets abused. He holds and gets burnt quite regularly. I don't know how this defense hasn't upgraded from Riley Moss yet, because he is clearly a massive liability for this defense.
I mean, oh yeah, sorry. He had 330 yards and then 280 yards. He has 8 touchdowns, 0 picks in the last 2 games. Last 3 games, it's 11 touchdowns, 0 picks. Yeah, I mean, he's been great. If anybody's talking themselves to the MVP conversation, it's Trevor Lawrence. I'm not even kidding.
I know, dude. I can't. I've had
He
some
has too many.
bad weeks
He
this
has too
year.
many bad games, but yeah, he should be in the. He should be in the. He's in the All Pro conversation, I'd say, for second team. No, never mind. That's impossible. It's Drake May and Stafford for those. But yes, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's talked himself into conversations where
There's a case to be
We
made.
we talked about him, like the
Tua.
Jaguars need to move on off of him, and maybe it's like they're gonna have to add stuff on to trade him to the Jaguar or not to the Dolphins, to the Cardinals, to the Falcons, et cetera, Panthers, and now it's like, well, Trevor Lawrence is untouchable.
God.
He's
I've had
phenomenal
some
today.
bad
He was
takes this year.
phenomenal today.
That might be my worst one. I said that he was in the 3 quarterback carousel with the Cardinals and the Dolphins. And
Yeah,
now he's like, he's unreal, dude. But this is the
yeah,
part of the
he's
Trevor Lawrence experience where he's gone on heaters before. I just need to see it's the consistency. That's what it's always been with Trevor is the consistency at the end of the day. And normally it's inconsistent drive to drive or play to play. Now we're kind of stringing together a handful of games where it's like, okay, you're hot. You're on one.
with Lawrence though, dude.
This is the prospect.
You see this, and I know it makes you scared in your division with Caleb. I know it makes you scared of Caleb Williams because people can't be wrong. I know that. I don't even think you might think of Caleb Williams when you see Trevor Lawrence, but you have to think that. You have to,
I didn't until you just
especially
said
when
that.
you. I know now. Now you're gonna have nightmares because the thing with Lawrence is it's taken time. He's 26. Again, that upsets me.
Mm-hmm.
Pisses me off that he's been in the NFL since 2021
He's on
and
his
he's
second
that young.
contract.
Yeah, and he's that young. Good for him. I'm happy that he's made money, but I just am mad that I'm facing, the Grim Reaper basically at this point. I'm about to be 30 this year. And he's 26. I remember when I was 26. Hey, live it up, Trevor, because it's all downhill from there. But yeah, the consensus is if you're a Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, John Elway prospect, if you aren't great, we change the entire rule book. And so that's the fear of, like, for you, if it's Caleb Williams is next. But he was so good today. He picked apart that Broncos defense the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
He was unreal. Like, I picked the Jaguars to cover. I did not bet that game. I should have bet them, honestly. I should have bet them in the teases instead of the Lions. They should have been more of a sure thing. I was just scared. I'm scared of the Jaguars still. Would it shock you if they make the Super Bowl?
Right now, you ask me that, and I say no. If you asked me that 5 weeks ago, I would tell you you're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, when you say that to me, honestly, no, I
Would
don't.
it shock you, Alexa? Jaguars Super Bowl? Would it shock you? See, you guys are on different
Yeah,
sides of the fence.
different sides of the fence. I guess I was just thinking for a second, like to get back to your point, like Trevor Lawrence, like these like prospect guys, when it's like the prospect's too good, he can't miss. There's a handful of guys, like you're right, they do change the rules for it, where it it's almost like it'll never be the prospect. It's always the coach. It's always the offense. It's always the GM. Like the rules change for these guys, like like it did for Trevor Lawrence. Like if Andrew Luck was like not good, Peyton Manning, having a horrible first year. It's like it's not the player. It's the coach. It's the system. It's something.
Yeah.
And they move those pieces around the prospect. It is
But
interesting.
the cat, you're right. I mean, but the cat miss guys have not missed ever.
That's what
And
I'm saying. It's
we
30
felt
guys
like,
only.
yeah, we felt like the last two had kind of, well, Caleb Williams was way too early. There was one guy on his second coach, and the fact that he couldn't play in structure. He's been a lot better this year. Even earlier on, we said that, but
Bust.
yeah, yeah, with Lawrence, this is gonna end up being two things because we're gonna do the Bucks right now, right after this game. But for the Jags, the fact that they got Liam Cohen after he signed the extension with the Bucks and he drove to Jacksonville, and then signed with them under the Bucks' nose. This happened last offseason.
Yeah.
Is actually incredible. They should have elevate him to the head coach position because Todd Bowles is, I mean, I don't know what is lower than incompetent, but he's one of the worst.
Malpractice what he does.
Yeah, he is the worst head coach in football, I think.
If he was a lawyer, he would be disbarred. If he was a medical doctor, he would have had his practice shut down and his license revoked years ago. Like any other like profession, if he was a general contractor doing construction, he would have his license shut down by the state and his permits would be pulled. He would never. It's insane. He's so bad.
Yeah, no, but so before we go on to that though, it's all like before we go but before before we go on to that, I'm just saying the thing I'm trying to get at is Liam Cohen should have just got elevated to that Bucs head coaching job. Instead, he's now the Jaguars head coach, and he clearly is a special level of head coach where he's drawing up stuff that's amazing. And they made probably the best addition in the midseason where they traded for Jacoby Myers, who immediately is in sync with Trevor Lawrence. And there's probably a lot of teams that should have tried to make that trade. Because Jacoby Myers, I think, just signed, or I don't think, I know, he signed an extension for pretty decent salary.
Yeah.
With the Jags. And that's going to be he's a baller. He balled out for the Pats. They should have kept him. He went to the Raiders. He balled out there. This year he sucked. Is anybody good on the Raiders who says Brock Bowers? And I guess today Ashton Genty. And Max Crosby, of course, has been great his entire career. No, the answer is no. Nobody else is good. So Jacoby Myers is going to be great for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to be competitive the next couple of years. Yep. I'm sure we talk about windows. Look out for the Jaguars the next 2 years or 3 years.
I know.
There's a good chance to make a Super Bowl, and then it's a coin flip if they win or not.
I'm gonna have to lock into the AFC South. This is a division that I've mentioned multiple times that I was completely opted out of. Decent football is being played down there right now. Decent
Only
football
team with a quarterback. Only team with a quarterback though is Jacksonville. And we're gonna just for the Broncos real quick. I wish the Broncos were the Bengals because I want to call them a paper tiger, paper horse. Bo Nix, 352 yards. Good for you. But that game was such a bad game by him. And that pass that he threw at the end of the game that he killed his receiver is one of the worst throws I've seen a quarterback ever make.
What was the receiver that got hit? What was the name?
Well, we don't need to care about it anymore. He's not going to be playing football for quite a while. Maybe ever again. It wasn't Cortland Sutton. It was the worst pass I've seen a quarterback. That was a prime Peyton Manning throw to Austin Collie. That's what that was. That was a Derek Carr to Chris Olave throw, where I think the receiver should be able to sue the quarterback. For those, you know what? I don't usually do this because we don't put like video up on this. I don't edit this to have video up on it. But let me go find this real quick. Bo Nix. I'm gonna just put this on my phone and I'm gonna actually post this on here. Here you go.
Dude, it's such a bad hit.
So that guy, whomever it was, again, there's no name for it.
Mind you, they're down 14 points with 36 seconds left. It was Pat Bryant who got killed.
Pat Bryant, may you win comeback player of the year next year. I don't know. That was very harsh. That was one of the worst throws I've ever seen a quarterback make in the circumstances. That's a bad throw no matter what, but in the circumstances. And Bo Nix felt bad about it. He slammed his helmet, but it's like, did Pat Bryant do something to you? What the hell?
Money?
Yeah. So that throw is bad. But anyways, geez,
he's a rookie.
Will he make it to the second year is a real question.
He's got Bo Nix cutting his career short.
Yeah.
Wow, Pat Bryant is 6'2", 204 pounds, and he got blasted like that. That's actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a hit. Oh, it says he's at the hospital with concussion-like symptoms.
Oh, I'm surprised it was a concussion. Whoa. Hmm.
That's a funny report. He should
Um.
play next week.
Yeah, you
Him and
should get
Jordan
out. You
Love
should suit
should
up.
both get the green light.
Suit up. The what was the next game? Oh, Bucks Panthers. Bucks Panthers. Baker
Yes.
Mayfield is going to have surgery in the offseason. Exclusive report here. He's clearly fucked up. I don't know what it is. His shoulder, his AC joint, his leg. Everything's bad. He's
Mm-hmm.
been awful since about week 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But he's been terrible. He got in MVP conversations, and since it has been downhill, and he looks like that last year being the Browns quarterback where they traded him and because he got hurt all the time. He shouldn't be playing right now. He had miscommunication with Mike Evans, and he threw a game-sealing pick. It was one of the worst picks ever because he threw it to the Panthers guy.
Yeah.
Like, he threw it into what would have been double coverage in zone because they were in zone. But Mike Evans broke the other way. And because Baker was scrambling, it's like, well, you're obviously not in sync with your guy, but also you have to have his eyes on your eyes. You cannot throw that ball if he doesn't
Yeah.
see you. And that has to be a quarterback move that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Baker's been terrible. They're not going to win this division. It's going to be the Panthers. You want to be the 5 seed. I know you talked about the Packers being the 5 seed. The 5 seed gets a free win. Not a free win because the Packers are actually feisty. They're feisty. But Bryce Young played way better than Baker did today. They deserve to win the game. The fact they were +3 at home is absurd. They were at home, I think. Yeah, they were, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were +3.
Man.
Insane. That was free money. I wish I would have bet that in like a real way instead of just like some like just tossing some
Panthers are
shekel.
just scary though. They're scary because you don't know if they're going to be good or not. They're very, very inconsistent.
It's scary only to the point where you think that they can lose this game because it's a big game because they lost to the Saints last week.
Yeah.
I don't think it's scary to bet against the Bucks anymore. The Bucks suck.
No. Yeah. No, it's true. They're not good anymore. They're done.
They should shut Baker down next week. They should not even have Baker play. I'm serious. Next game matters to them because they can't lose. If the Panthers win, I don't know what their schedules are. It'd be better if I prepped for this. This conversation doesn't matter to me that much because I don't care about the NFC South winner. Neither of these teams are winning the Super Bowl. I'm
The Bucks
saying,
have the Dolphins, and then they play the Panthers again.
yeah, I know who the Panthers play.
The Panthers play the Seahawks next week.
Yeah, so if I'm the Bucks, I actually probably would. I don't know who the Bucks backup is. I think about starting the Bucks backup and letting Baker get a weaker rest before the Panthers game. Because you probably beat Quinn Ewers. We saw Quinn Ewers today against Joe Burrow and against the Bengals, who looked like prime Bengals team this week. That was awesome. Very nice to see. Joe Burrow said at the end of the game, "I had fun today." I'm happy he had fun. I had fun today too. I had fun myself, and that doesn't talk to the tumultuousness of my life. Like the other things going on outside of just watching football and gambling and winning money on it. I did really well today. It doesn't talk about the other nonsense. Congrats, Joe. That concludes our Dolphins Bengals coverage for the day.
Yes.
Let's do Jets Saints real quick because I have a few fucking funny Jets things. Tyler Shuck, 3 straight wins. They have a quarterback for next year.
I was gonna
for the
say
Saints.
he's earned himself to start.
He gets another year.
Yeah.
Oh, easy, 100%.
Good
Here's
guy,
a
Tyler.
few. Huh?
Good guy, Tyler.
He's a beast. I actually think he's good. I'm not even kidding. He's actually good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
In a real way, he's better than. I would not take Fernando Mendoza over him. Are you kidding me? The Jets will finish the season ranked in the bottom 10 in scoring, the bottom 10 in yards for the 10th year in a row. That doesn't seem real. They have 0 interceptions this year also. 0 interceptions.
That's actually insane. That's like hard to do.
Yeah. 0 interceptions. Another thing, Garrett Wilson last caught a pass on October 12th. Think about how long ago that was. Where you
I
were
was,
on live?
I was pretending to
Where
check my
everything
watch.
was? Huh?
I was pretending to check my watch.
Yeah, time travel backwards.
Where'd I
Garrett
look?
Wilson last caught a pass on October 12th. He's a Jets leading receiver this season with 395 yards. Again. Huh?
Third, man.
I can't actually believe the Jets are and also A.D. Mitchell needs 116 yards in the last 2 games to surpass that. The guy they traded for the trade they got on their team for Sauce Gardner. Yeah. Unreal. So that ends our Jets coverage for the week. I just wanted to put those stats in there. That's insane. And Brady Cook actually seems like more of a leader and a better quarterback than who they've had there with Fields and Tyrod Taylor. He actually seems like he cares about that sport. He's a coach, though. He's not a quarterback. Does that make sense? Like, he seems like he's going to be an offensive assistant or a QB coach.
Yeah.
He's not good
more,
enough.
more of a great offensive mind than a great offensive player.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a great offensive mind, though. He's mediocre. He's going to be an offensive assistant or coach that is on bad teams. He's going to cycle through. He might end up getting a role with like a good call. He might be Lane Kiffin's OC at some point in 8 years down the road. That's where he ends up. Vegas versus the Texans. This actually is very concerning for Houston. I know they won the game 23-21. Winning an NFL game is serious. It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Beating the Raiders is actually an accomplishment. Some very good teams didn't beat the Raiders this year. One of the best teams in football actually lost to them in week 1. Darren, if you had an ability to shoot me after week 1, I know we were together. I wish you woulda. The Raiders almost won this game, and it actually caused me some concern for the Texans and their future. I think the best bet this week was probably going to be one of the best bets was Texans to cover that 14-point spread, 13.5, 14.5 point spread. They were behind this game for most of it. They let Ashton Jeanty break out and have 2 big runs for touchdowns. And yeah, CJ Stroud looked terrible. He looked like CJ from last season and the early this year. I actually think I would have preferred Davis Mills in this.
I don't think they've honestly truly prepared for this game. I know it's hard sometimes, but I think this is like a very prime look ahead spot for the Texans. They go to play the why can I not find who they're the Chargers next week. So I don't know. I think that they might have just
I'm betting Chargers. I'm telling you that right now. Chargers are getting bet.
Yeah, I mean they just came off a game against Arizona where they killed the Cardinals. I think they were kind of sleepwalking into this game against the Raiders as well. Some of these games, bad teams play good teams close every now and again, especially when they're sitting ahead of a pretty big divisional game with playoff implications. So I don't know. I think that they might have just been caught peeking ahead a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can you please Google the quarterback that is going to be starting the last 2 games for the Kansas City Chiefs?
For the Chiefs?
So the Chiefs lost to the Titans. The quarterback that's going to be quarterbacking for them, his name is Chris Oladukin. You need to Google him. You need to get pictures of him.
Yeah.
He played at South Florida, Samford, and South Dakota State. He has 2 Super Bowl rings as a practice squad member, something like that. I've never seen it before. He looks like he should be on Love Island.
Yeah.
This is free money to moneyline parlay against the Chiefs, the Browns, and we're going to find somebody else. The Raiders and somebody else too. The Jets, Brady Cook, and Quinn Ewers. the Dolphins. We're going to do those the next 2 weeks. We're going to put those 5 teams in moneyline parlays against, because we're going to get money. We're going to probably get plus odds in those 5 Lakers. And I'm going to promise you that we aren't going to get value like that ever again, because these guys shouldn't be NFL quarterbacks. Are you looking at pictures of him still? Was he on Love Island? Yeah. I'm happy with betting against that. We're good.
Dude, I could actually see him being on Love Island.
Well, I'm looking at Google right now, and what I'm seeing is just his headshots. Yeah, he's a Love Island guy.
Yeah, no, when I found his Instagram.
You know,
He
speaking of Love
posted a
Island,
lot of pictures with these Super Bowl rings.
that's amazing. I like that. He will be on Love Island. Speaking of, yeah, that's absurd. That's absurd. Speaking of Love Island, I actually, there's a guy I know, kind of, who was not on Love Island, but too hot to handle, named Chase Demore. Some people might know what I'm talking about. He boxed Andrew Tate this weekend. He
Did he go to
dated,
Central?
he went to Central, yeah. He dated
Yeah.
girl that I worked with when I was a leasing agent in Bellingham. She was also a leasing agent. Chase Demore dated this girl for like 7 years. So I met him multiple times. The biggest fucking douchebag weirdo ever. It wasn't even close. He was like, I'm going to be an NFL player. And I said, you go to Central. You're not going to be. But he was whatever. Then I see him on Too Hot to Handle. I know they break up. He's on Too Hot to Handle. It ends up him being a celeb boxer. And he fights Andrew Tate. I'm happy he beat Andrew Tate, by the way. Andrew Tate's one of the biggest scumbags in the history of this earth. But I wish it would have been somebody cooler than him that beats him up. That's all I'm going to say.
Hmm.
This has nothing to do with Chris Oladukin, by the way. He's probably a very good guy. I'm just saying, like, he should be on a show like Too Hot to Handle or Love Island. More so than being a starting quarterback for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It feels like he should come down with an illness and not start and just be a backup quarterback going forward, because I feel like he might actually not be playing quarterback next year. I feel like he might have a new profession next year. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I definitely could see him kind of moving off of the football business and maybe moving into reality TV business, maybe insurance.
Yeah, it's
Um,
concerning. He probably wants to stay football, so it'd be good if he doesn't
yeah.
start games.
Yeah. The
Um,
less you play, the better, Chris. The less you play, the better.
what's the Tame Impala song? The less I know, the better. With the
Yeah.
cool bass line. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. Yeah,
So yeah,
that's.
right now the Broncos are 12.5-point favorites over the Chiefs. I don't know if you already said that or not. I was looking at
I did not, but you know what we do with those lines. You know what I'm thinking.
I don't think you need to break out the 13-point tease for this one. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief.
No, I don't need to, but I will, because
The
I know there's
Patriots
other
are 12.5-point favorites over the Jets.
13-point teases happening. We're gonna find lines, and we're also gonna bet them separately. I can't keep doing it.
I need to find the Chiefs lines for the following week as well.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing them all. These last 2 weeks is basically gonna be. There's a chance. There's a gold mine. There's people out there on Kalshi and Polymarket betting who wins the California governorship right now, and they're doing dumb things. You don't need to bet those. What you could do is you could just parlay the Patriots and the Broncos, and you can get plus 220 odds. If you just do those lines, and you can do a 13-point tease, you could get even
Yeah.
money. You don't need to bet Tom Steyer or Katie Porter. You got this. You got this. Is there any game that we didn't touch on that needs to be touched on? I did say congrats, Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Congrats, Justin Herbert.
Yep.
Congratulations, Kirk Cousins. That's in order.
Yeah.
Surprised that game went the way it did. They actually used Bijan Robinson. You know, if you're the GM there and the owner, you have to look at how Raheem Morris coached this team to this week, where it's like Bijan gets all the big touches, and say like, yeah, you're fired. And we're gonna say like, we're gonna show the new coach this tape and say like, is this good or bad?
Yeah. And Kyle
Because you've
Kyle
had
Pitt,
the last
actually
2 weeks.
good.
they've used these guys how they should be used the entire time, the last 2 weeks, like they should be used. I have a very good comparison. I'm not going to say it, but I have something
Text it
that's
to me.
good. Huh? I'll text it.
Text.
But yes, other comparisons would be, uh, if you're going into finals. I did this also, by the way, in law school. I didn't buy books at one point, and I didn't buy books, but I would pay attention in class, and I would Quimby the cases. Quimby is a thing that we would use for law school, and I did good in law school, but I did fine. I wouldn't say good, I did fine, but I would study for finals. Wouldn't study for midterms, would study for finals. So in law school, all that matters for grades is midterms and finals. That's the only things that are graded. Midterms are worth between 10 to 25% of grades depending on the class. Finals are worth the other 75% to 90%.
Mhm.
So for finals, I would study. I would give a week of my life to law school, pretty much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I would show up into finals, and I'd be ready to go. That feels like how Raheem Morris has coached the Falcons these last 2 weeks. Where he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep my job because Kyle Pitts and Bijan are being used now." And it's like,
Yeah.
you've been here. This is your third for law school. It's 3 years, right? Your 3.0 year. This is his 3.0 year for the Falcons. It's like you failed a lot of classes. You have to actually retake those classes. You're going to be here for 2 more years. So I only did 1 year of law school. For those that don't know, I left voluntarily. I didn't. Okay, I left that, and probably should have finished. I'll be honest with everybody here, but I probably should have done that. I'd be a good lawyer. It's not that everybody says I'd be a good lawyer, but neither here nor there. For what I'm trying to say is, he's failed the classes and he still wants to be a lawyer. He still wants to
Mhm.
take the bar, and it's like, you gotta retake con law. You gotta retake property. You gotta retake contracts because he did so bad, he's gonna get fired, and he's finally using the guys right. It's like his final semester of his 3rd year, he bought all the books, and he's studying, and he's reading all the cases, and he got a good grade, and it's like, what about the other 5 semesters?
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah,
why
it's
didn't
like
he do
it's
this?
like it's like not doing a single assignment all year and then, you know, turning in, a missing paper to your professor and did I pass? It's like, no, you actually had a 0% going into this.
Yeah.
This singular these 2 assignments from the last 2 weeks, that is not gonna change your grade. You're now at a 5% pass, like, or 5%, like, you did horrible.
They should look at Michigan should look at hiring him to be head coach. Like, he should go to be a college coach for a year or 2
Yeah.
before he gets back in the NFL. He'll get a coordinator job in the
Atlanta
NFL
could look
probably,
at
but
Sharon Moore.
I like that. Um, yeah, that's basically it with these,
Yeah, I
games, unless there's anything else. Any chance the Colts beat the 49ers tomorrow?
don't think so. I really don't.
Yeah, I do, but I hope not. No, they'll win that game. Damn, they have a hard schedule the last few games, the 49ers. Goes Colts, Bears, Seahawks. Did you see the Ayuk video? Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Brendan Ayuk posted a YouTube video of him driving past the 49ers facility. It was him posting it going 100 miles per hour. It was not on the freeway, by the way, which it's still like not good to go 100 miles per hour on the freeway, by the way, just for what people, my opinion on it. It was on a road, like just a street. He's going up 90 to 100. Just
What? Why did he post this? Is
yeah.
he on drugs posting this?
Nope. Nope.
Did he suffer a head injury this season or last season?
I don't think he played it. No, I think it's insane. If I was a team, I would be not touching it with a 10-foot pole. That's really the 49ers case right there. You're out. I'm done. Like,
Okay.
I'm done with them. I'm trying to see, is there any other things to say about any of these games? I think we're good on the games.
I think we are.
I think we got a good podcast. 132 talked about the Patriots and Packers and sadness for you,
Yeah.
happiness for my team.
Warm. We did full circle.
If the somehow the 49ers take care of business tomorrow, it'll be a good week for me. I mean, it's already a good week. because the Patriots won the way they did. But
Wow.
hopefully that happens. Sorry about your team.
It's all right. We'll get
Just
him this
know
week.
you might have the injury bug. It happens.
It does. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. But okay. We'll be back Tuesday with our Christmas episode. And we're doing a white elephant, by the way, you, Greg, and I.
All right.
Greg's not on here right now, but I'll tell you what I got him. I got him
Right.
a Sopranos full set, all the seasons, on non-Blu-ray, but it's HD. So I got him that. And I got you. You're not going to know what I got you. I'll tell Greg what I got you. Of course, there's trades allowed, so he might want your gift. But your gift has to do with karate techniques. So unless Greg, I don't think Greg wants to learn that. Greg's a member of the streets. He's just a street justice. He's an Italian mob member.
Yeah. No, I got Greg another jumpsuit.
That's a good gift.
Yeah, it was a thin gold chain that came with it.
I was deciding between Cutlets and the Sopranos set, and the Sopranos set was on sale, so I went with that.
Got him a gift card to a local bodega.
I was thinking about getting Greg, some Peronis, just a big Peroni, 124 can of Peroni, and some spaghetti noodles, an Olive Garden gift card, things like that.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. It's awesome to to just shit talk Italians. I love Italians, but to shit talk them is funny. Really, probably the only ethnicity you could do that to. Also, last thing, we're gonna do this last thing. Movie reviews. You saw what movie you see?
I saw Housemaid.
How'd you like it? Go ahead, describe it to the podcast.
It was good. I knew nothing going into it. I guess there's a book. Did not read the book. Not much of a reader. Definitely not a fiction reader
We can all
myself.
tell.
Yeah. I had no idea. I thought I was going to see like a chick movie. I'll be honest. Natalie was like, "Hey, we're going to go see this." I was like, "All right, we'll go." I thought it was a chick movie. I had no idea what to expect. Pretty good movie. Movie. Yeah. Thriller,
Yeah.
mystery. Not a chick movie.
I saw the epic. The epic, I would say, is what I would call it. It's a 17-hour movie called Avatar 3 by James Cameron. Fire and Ash. It's 3.5 hours long. The night before I watched Avatar 2, and I was confused if they were playing Avatar 2 at some points during the movie. The plot was very similar. Unintentional comedy in many moments in that movie.
Yeah.
You have to watch it to understand what I'm saying. I enjoyed it. It was too long, but I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was in a good time. Good time was had with all the family. I don't know. It was not a comedy movie, but it had unintentional comedy at multiple points.
I love unintentional
And it feels like
comedy.
James Cameron went into with Avatar 1, which was like visually stunning and a game changer. And it's the first and only movie that was good in 3D. It's the only one and the first one that was like, I gotta see this in 3D.
Yeah.
Avatar 2? I didn't see this one in 3D. I don't care about 3D. They had the glasses laid out. I said, like, I'm not going to the 3D movie. I wear glasses. I'd have to put the 3D glasses on top of my actual glasses. Then I'm actually going to have a seizure. So I watched this movie, and yeah, it was awesome. The visuals were awesome, but it's there's nothing different. And it was not great. It was just average. And I don't know. I think there's money laundering going on with how they've made $2 billion, the second one, or $2.5 billion. It's like the third highest gross. The first highest grossing movie is the first one. It's made like $6 billion or something like that. How? How have more people seen that movie than any other movie in the history of movie theaters? How is that possible?
Yeah.
How people have seen that more than Moana, or Lion King, or Avengers, or Titanic? I don't get it. But you know what? I enjoyed the third one. I'll be honest. I had a good time. Girl next to my girlfriend and I, she sat one seat by us. Fell asleep 5 minutes in. Slept the entire movie.
That's
The
tough.
entire movie she was asleep. And her friend, as soon as the movie was over, said, "You're gonna have to see that movie again." She said, "Wow, I missed that whole thing." We went, by the way, at 1 p.m.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens.
He has sleep deprivation, maybe. So it was a good movie, though. I enjoyed it. Other unintentional funny movie was Kong Skull Island. That's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. With I think it was Zach Galifianakis was in that.
That sounds like it'd be an intentionally funny movie then.
He might not have been in it, but it was somebody that was a comedy actor. John C. Reilly. It was John C. Reilly, who's also a serious actor too, but he was in that movie and he was great. I remember I watched that. They were like nuking dinosaurs with like Rolling Stones playing. And I was like, this is not supposed to be funny, but it was the funniest thing ever. And John C. Reilly was playing a character who, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Kong Skull Island, John C. Reilly was playing a character who was still at war, even though the war ended decades ago. He didn't know the war ended, so he had a sword and he was acting like the war was still going on, which is obviously hilarious
Yeah.
because John C. Reilly doing this. Funny if it was anybody. It's Dale from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
He's like dressed like a Civil War first, like a Southern Civil War general. It's amazing. He's just on this island too with like monster gorillas and giraffes.
Good.
He doesn't have he has a sword. It was awesome. I love that movie. But anyways, okay. We've talked enough. Good podcast. We'll be
As
back Tuesday,
always.
Christmas episode. We got great Italian things.
As always. See.